Hello and welcome to another episode of the Thought Leadership Podcast. And on this podcast, we interview the most amazing leaders, conscious leaders that are happen to be in our world, that we happen to meet from different angles, and who are here to help you and inspire you to find your inner power, your inner guidance, find what's true to you, what feels like this is my next step, this is my journey. And maybe you see yourself as a mirror of them, maybe you see parts of yourself in them, and maybe there's something new that comes up. In every episode, it's every different. And today I'm here with Nikky. Nikky, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, I'm really happy. I'm so excited for this episode. I'm so excited what will come out from today. For the ones who don't know you, in our community, our a great community of conscious leaders, can you tell a bit more about who you are and what you are here to create in this world?
Yes, well, I'm French, so you're going to hear my accent. My name is Nikky Doualle. I am a business mentor and strategist and a public speaker in France, but I also speak in English as well. I help entrepreneurs to quantum success their business using energy and strategies together. So they can really they can really impact the world positively. So it's a mix of being successful in your own business by impacting positively the world.
Amazing. And I know, Nikki, that you have a really big mission in terms of impact. Can you talk a bit more about that?
Yeah. Yeah, my mission is a soul mission, obviously. I'm very connected and spiritual person, and my soul has taken over my own body and is deciding for everything that is happening. So I'm very honored to be supporting my soul in that journey. The journey is really about how I can help others' souls to self actualize themselves, So any human being has a soul, and at some point the soul wants to come out and say, hey, I have a mission, I want to do this, and let's do it together with the human body, but the people are very blocked into their mind, so it's hard for them to reach that those signs or maybe the messages and all that. And this is where I help all the souls that are ready to take place, to align with the brain of the people, so they can co-create together in our environment. Yeah.
Amazing. And I know that that you mentioned that you want to impact 1 million souls with your stories, with your
Yeah,
messages. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Amazing. So what I know, and then that we're going to talk about today, is something really spectacular and extraordinary for money, that how you went from really having more like a 5K income into really quantum leaping, like you mentioned, into 200,000 and beyond in a couple of months. And what's beautiful about your story is that it's not from a very masculine and hustling approach. It's very spiritual, embodied, and feminine. And today I really want to talk about how that happens, so everyone who's listening can understand and get a feeling to how that could feel like, and also get to know more about your own story. But before we go into that, I would love to hear about the before, because sometimes when we hear these stories, we think like, well, that's not possible for me. And I know that you mentioned that for you, for when we had the conversation out of the podcast, for almost 7 years, that you were kind of trying to, like, with your head. I remember it so vividly. You were showing me with your head, like I was really
I was
forcing
pushing
that
against the wall.
yes. And then something happened. Can you talk about that time just before the quantum leap? What happened? What really occurred in your life?
Yeah, I was feeling that I could achieve more, or becoming more, achieving more. So I was, at the time I was in network marketing also, so studying personal development, and that was fun. That was helped me to grow. But still, in my success, I was facing a wall. There was something I could not go through. That wall was not was really here for me, and it was blocking me from reaching another level in success. And I was like, why am I facing this? And before that time, I was simply doing all the mechanics, so all the masculine energy of doing business, following mentors, Americans that are very successful, that are perfect in what they're doing, but it was not aligned with me, and I didn't know about this alignment thing. You know, I was so new, so I was not aligned. Basically, I was doing things that was not aligned with my being, and I had no clue I was not aligned with my being. So I was keeping on doing, and it was not working. It was surviving, I would say, like average. Yeah.
And you said that kind of feeling lasted for 7 years. How did you manage to keep the patience and the trust? Like year 5, like keep going, year 6, keep going. How do you stay connected to like, okay, it's gonna work one day?
Well, many things. First thing, in network marketing, they tell you you need to work hard for 5 years and then you will be successful. So I had already a 5 years time frame in my mind, which nothing really happened after 5 years. I had some success, but I was not like a millionaire or billionaire, you know. And then also my mom was fighting cancer for 15 years, and her strengths and her capabilities of doing one step at a time to climb that mountain, that's really helped me, witnessing her in her, you know, willingness to keep going regardless of the circumstances, even though it was hard for her. This gave me also my own power, own power to keep on like I cannot complain. My mom is fighting cancer, she's dying of it, and what I'm here to complain about? I'm alive, you know. So I use this as a powerful fuel for my own journey, and it's pretty much it.
Yeah, amazing. So there was this, you know, those almost external reminders of there's so much strength and resilience within your industry that you are in, but also within your own family. And what was it that made the click? Like, let's say the 7 years, something happened that really took you from there. Can you remember the moment just like around that time? What really happened? How was your life going then?
I was, so like I said, I was reaching like a low plateau. It was not very high plateau of success. And it was a first step of success, I would say. So, and I wanted more, obviously. And then, of course, this happened. My mom passed away, and it was planned, obviously, because she was sick. And then I lost myself. I was like, who am I? You know, I've been doing, but I've never just being myself. What is to be Nikky, you know? So I had no clue. And this is where I went down in that vortex of darkness in my own soul, in my own life. It was so hard. I was like, what am I here for? You know, I have no idea. What am I doing? I'm not even enjoying what I'm doing. But I pushed it so hard for many years. I was like, oh my God. And then something very, like in my emotion, the way of seeing myself was quite, the way of talking to myself was harsh. You know, I was very kind of mean with myself. And at the point on Facebook, I had this connection, a suggestion of a guy who is a specialist in RTT, rapid transformation therapy. And I'm always curious. And so I went to have a look, and I was like, oh, okay, 15 minutes offered, I'm going to do it. I did it. And then he pointed out my programs in my mind that I was working, like I'm functioning with program of my childhood. So to run my business today, we don't want a kid at the head of a department, you know? So he explained to me also many things, and I realized, I was like, oh, okay, good. So it doesn't belong to me. Let it pull it out. And I did a therapy with him. And during the therapy, it was very fast, 2 months. He said, where do you want to be? And I said, I want to be in Bali. And this is when I recall telling, I'm going to go in Bali because I don't know, something's going to happen for me there. And I was like starting to feel my emotion, my guts, my desires. I started to connect to my own desire, because before it was never about me. It was always about my mom and the people and my team. And it was like a reconnection of my own desires. And then COVID hit, obviously. I couldn't go, I couldn't leave. And I managed with a business visa to travel anyway. And I went there in February last year. And I stayed 6 months, almost 6 months. And I met, I remember someone introducing me this master, a spiritual master. And at the time, I was not a big believer of spirituality at all. I was very into like a normal world, I would say. And with this man, I started to open myself and free space in my head, so my soul could come and land perfectly within my body, and just starting to co-create with my soul and connect to my own soul. So that's what happened.
So the RTT came into your life around that time frame. You said there are 2 months that you were starting to create space. And how long time was it before you went to Bali?
Right after I did the journey, the RTT I did it the year before, so end of the year, so like November to December. I finished on the 31st of December. I booked my flight for the 10th of January, but then with the COVID, I couldn't go. I was able to fly February, at the end of February, the next month. So it was very close by. Like, I was really like, I was like, I cannot take a no. I have to go. It was like life or death for me. It was crazy, intense.
Yes, you mentioned something that about your identity, and that you had an identity of working hard and being in your masculine, and then when your world started to crumble and reborn, like the rebirth of you somehow.
Yes, exactly. That's how I called my first program, Rebirth. So it was a rebirth.
Sure. And that identity, I think what you mentioned here is this really the attachment to our identity that is stopping us, and that with what I'm hearing is that there's almost a mix between the RTT that came and that the support that you got to really clean up. Like I know they talk about cleaning up the garbage, like in our mind, but also this moment of not knowing, this cloudy space of when you don't have the capacity anymore to keep going because your identity is shifting. Having this almost chaotic time can quite be can be quite important. So do you think, Nikky, that for you actually being in a state where not knowing who you are opened a quantum leap for you? Do you think that is related to that journey?
I would say it's a premises. It's the first steps, but the really first steps, because then you have more things. I would say the first step was really to clean, obviously, the garbage in my head, open that space to welcoming and self-love. That's also key, because I didn't know who I was. So how can you love someone you don't know? It's a bit difficult. So opening the self-love portion, and then I created that time, and geographically I was also in a space where I could completely focus on me. I was in Bali, no family, no friends, no dog, because I have a dog also. And I was just me, I and myself, or I don't know, I, me and myself, just me. And I had this master to guide me on my own feelings, journey, emotion, sensation, and experimentation that we've done. And definitely it's a first step to take me there. But the quantum success went from something different, I would say. It's not from my trip in Bali, because at the time I just found my identity. I found myself.
Yes.
That was key. Who is Nikky at the time, and which identity I'm going towards. I didn't know that we could think about who I want to become and becoming that person. I had no clue about that. I was just listening to my old stories of who I was when I was a little girl, and the damaged girl I was, and I was living my life with this program. Now I'm that. So I was able to put any program I wanted, and I decided to become successful in my business.
Yes. Amazing. And that was the beginning of this really big quantum leap in business that you experienced, that you said it was the base, that you had to
Yeah.
create the space, create the space within you and get rid of the garbage or the parts that are no longer serving you, that took you there but no longer serving you,
Yeah.
and at the same time recreating the identity of who do I want to be if there is no taking care of others, including my dog. Just saying that this is just me and this is my bubble, and I'm rediscovering myself as an adult, which many of us don't take the time to do because it's just going so fast that it's like getting off the train for a second and ask, where do I go from here? And I would love to go a bit more into what happened next when it comes to this quantum leap. Did you go more into, did you know then that it was time to go back, or how did you come back into the world of being out and serving others?
Yeah, that's a good question. So after connecting to some kind of emotion I was not aware I could feel, when I was in Bali, especially with my master guiding me, guiding my soul, I started to receive some kind of intuition, strong information in my head. At the beginning, I thought it was in my head. And that tell me like, oh, you need, I was building a program to coach. I was almost done. And with the masculine energy, and I was in Bali to finish it and to launch it. And in my head, I hear, put it in the garbage and restart over with your new self. And I'm like, what? Like I don't make any money. I'm almost out of money. And now I've been working on this for maybe 6 months or 8 months. And I hear you need to throw this in the garbage. I'm like, I'm scared because I said, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to support myself financially for the next few months,
Yeah.
So I called my ex and I said, okay, I'm going to try something I've never done before. I feel like I need to do this and just trust universe, I guess. That's how people say. So I'm really at the beginning of playing with universe. And so I said, if something happened to me, would you be able to provide me just to eat some food? In Bali is very not expensive. And he said, yeah. So I had this stress relieved completely.
Yes.
And I was able to jump in the emptiness. And I put everything in the bin. And then I was like, so what now, universe? What am I supposed to learn? And I'm in Ubud in this co-working space. And I'm with my pen like this, and then I start to feel something. I started to, I don't know. I remember that feeling inside my whole body. I started to feel something, and then it's about how can I, with my mind, understand what's happening. It's hard. It's new, also. It's new.
Of course.
And then I'm feeling, and I say, oh, I'm gonna just follow my feelings. And I start writing ideas, desires, how I want to impact people, why it's important for me, working in those kind of questions instead of how can I create a program and market it and make money out of it. It was completely different.
Yes.
So I start to feel, to be and align who I am now that I had access to, because before I had no access to it.
Yeah.
And I was able to create, my first program was called Rebirth. This is so funny because it was really about, I'm rebirthing myself actually. And I did my first premium client. And it was like a shock for me because I never sold an offer. And that was in November. No, that was in June, actually, about a year ago. And I did my first client for network marketing because I was in that field at the beginning. And that I was like, oh my God, this is working like crazy. Like, I made more than almost 2K in one go. Wow. I said, that's awesome. And then in November, so last year, I decided to go all in my business, but I also changed. Something has changed. Something happened to me, another step. All the time it's like I cross a step and then something new. It's like a new world opening, So I was doing, I'm in network marketing, but then I was like, I don't feel aligned. I don't want to do this anymore. Am I going to put in the garbage 7 years? This is where I had to take the decision. And university, like the offer you did before. So just put it in the garbage. I was like, but I'm scared, I don't want to go. I'm scared because I want to see the proof it's going to work before I trash all those years, And a universe responded, no, it doesn't work this way. You jump first and then I support you. And I was like, but I don't like the feeling. So I did. I did say this to the decision. One day I was on the beach walking barefoot here. I was back in France, and I isolated myself 4 months near south of France, southwest, Osgore, Biarritz over there.
Yeah.
And I was walking on the beach one morning, and I said, I faced myself, and I said, okay, now are you going to make the decision, or are you going to, I don't know, keep doing what you're doing that is not working?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I take the decision. So I took my phone and I called, and my sponsor was a millionaire, very famous in America. Nobody say, everybody wants to be with them, or with her. And I explained to her, I said, hello, I was crying. I said, I don't feel alive anymore. And I'm using words that I never used before. And then I said, can you please, is that okay? Because I really need to follow that path. And said, I'm so happy for you, and I'm very supportive of you. And so this is where I started. This is like when I say no to my old identity. This is really at that time that something huge happened.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Amazing. And that's the thing that when you said you jump, and then you just have to trust that you walk first, and then everything starts to happen around you because you made a decision that you are moving. And again, you were releasing. And that what's coming back to me when you're talking about is that first you released your identity, parts of yourself, and then you start to release parts of your professional identity of I'm the network marketer, this is no longer me. And the more you create that space of, it's almost like there are two pulls at the same time. One pull is let me get rid of this, and one other pull is let me go there. And having this vision of direction of the clear like calling of I'm following the calling and I'm releasing at the same time, so I can create space for what's coming in. And what I want to talk with you about is that I know that you're very much committed to mentorship, and you have been surrounded as you have been growing into this in the last years when you went all in. Can you talk a bit more about how you approach mentorship, guidance? And you mentioned several guides and teachers were throughout this journey that you took, that you kind of opened up to, and you received their guidance, received their help. I would love to hear your point of view on how you choose your mentors, how you know what you want to be guided on.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, first, it's about looking at myself and where I find resistance in me, in my body, in my thinking, in my business, in my whatever field. So if I see any resistance, then I'm going to search. If I want to improve my relationship with my partner, then I'm going to search, a mentor in that field. It's very American, because I lived 15 years in America, and they have coaches for everything, and I am in that stage now. I've got a coach for this, for this, for this, for this. It's crazy. I have you also, so that's funny. And it's just a matter of this. But I must say, there is some bit of magic situation that I don't know how to explain with my brain, and I'm going to try to share with you. One morning for a week, I woke up at 3:33 every morning. It was every day, very intense. Same time, 3:33. I take my phone, 3:33 in the morning, boom, boom, every day. And I'm like, okay. I called my master, and he said, oh, Spirit wants to talk to you. And I said, well, but I don't hear. And why is he talking to me at 3:30 in the morning? He can talk to me at 7, I mean, I tell him, why is he calling me at that time? And he said, because you can hear. I said, I don't hear anything. What am I supposed to hear, And so I say, okay, whatever. I don't need to think about it. I'm just going to be. So I take my phone, and I'm on a group of women, powerful women. And one woman said, oh, I'm offering a reading or something to 4 people. And I said, okay, I'm going to put my name, but it's a group of 800 people. So I said, I'm never going to win. And then bing, I won. And I was like, oh my God, I woke up and I won this. So I was just happy, I won something. But then the day we did it, my whole life changed completely. And I ascended. I did a huge ascension. With this lady who was usually she's very famous in America. I don't know if I can say her name, but
absolutely. If you feel like
it's Dr. Andrea Grund.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
quite famous. So she gave me this hour of her time, and oh my God, she threw me cards, the tarot cards, and I see my past, and she said, "Look, this is finished. You've been through this." I'm like, yeah, it was freaking painful, and she
Yeah.
said, this is what's coming, light, and I was like, wow, this is a good future for me. And I'm like, oh, I like that, I won. And then I hear nice things, it's always easier. Huh? And then she's the one that told me for this card, I had 20 swords in the back. She said,
Oh.
there's one business you are doing. You need to, the people are, it's not for you. You need to quit. And that was network marketing. This is also how I took my decision to quit
Oh,
because
yes.
of this moment, that cards.
Yeah.
And and so when I did, everything started to align, and it
Yeah.
was so amazing. And then I received 2 days after this a message saying, you need to organize an event. You need to organize an event. I'm like, I never done an event, online event, never done it. And how, what, where, and it happened. I
Yeah.
organized Ascension, the event with 50 entrepreneurs, spiritual entrepreneurs, for 20 days in February oh my God, it feels like it's a year ago, but no,
Yeah.
actually it's 3 months ago. It's crazy. So also this situation, and then what my lesson is for this, my own lesson, I'm learning every day lesson about who I am and how I function and the world function,
Yeah.
was even if you don't understand with your mind, even if you don't know how to, because I clearly didn't know how to organize such a huge event like we did. I had no team at the time. It was just me and my business and my client. I was a solopreneur.
Mm.
Just if the guts, the message, if the feeling was so clear, it was very loud and clear that I had
Yeah.
to do it, and I've done it. And looking backwards, it's like I went through a roller coaster of emotion, because it was hard to organize. I'm not gonna lie, but I did it and we succeeded. And the small world we co-created all together, just to change the new paradigm of
Mm.
business, just to not be me only alone, changing from masculine energy to feminine energy. We were able to bring it to the world, because I had 50 other women in the same, being the same way in business, so
Yeah.
talking the same language. And
Yeah.
so putting them together, the audience could say, oh, I found myself in this woman, or I recognize myself in this story.
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah,
important.
the power of the collective and the mirroring of seeing that, okay, I'm not alone, I'm not the crazy one, there are other people who are also going more into the spiritual business consciousness and so on. And you mentioned one thing, and I want to touch upon that, because the voice, you talked about the voice and hearing the guidance, and if someone is listening and watching and they're like, but Nikki, I don't hear a voice, there is no
Yeah.
voice in my head, where is my voice? What could you tell them? What can you share from your own experience of not hearing the voice, or maybe hearing the voice but not knowing it's the voice?
Yeah, that's excellent question, because before I was in that stage in my own life, where people here, this is BS. I can't believe it. This is a do story. It's so my brain couldn't take it, and I was like, how you do it? How you do it? I don't hear anything. La, la, la. But what happened for me, actually, what I understood. So that's my own experience. It's really facing myself. So where do you face yourself? Well, to find out who you are, you must first face your own trauma and darkness, I would say, because the more you manage to clean that part of you, the more space you create in your own existence for this channeling and intuition to take to start to enter your own head, and then you can feel or hear voices. It depends. I don't hear a voice. Well, it depends, because for Ascension it was really clear. I had words like this, like it was not a sentence, it was just words. Because when I say, oh, about the event, but how I'm going to call it, I had, boom, I asked a question, I was like, Ascension. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know where that comes from. And so it's really true. To the first step is, if you feel like you do not have control in your life, it's probably where you need to start really cleansing your trauma. It's key. It's definitely key.
Yeah. Amazing. And I want to ask you about, we talked about the quantum leap that it has been occurred, and we talked about, different stories that has happened throughout this time of guidance and saying no when starting. And I also know that you worked with some great business coaches to develop your business as well. And when it comes to this quantum leap, what happens often is that we self-sabotage, and then we talk, we work a lot with the stage, and stage can have that effect as well. You get to get in front of a big audience, and a lot of things happen after that, and things that just start to the ripple effect of stage can be almost scary because of what that requires. The same with business coaching. You can go from 5 to 200,000 in 5 months. How do you keep that capacity to not self-sabotage, not get back into, this is going too fast, let me go back to my old identity?
That's excellent question. Self-sabotage was my way of being for so many years. So it's easy for me to notice when I'm in that state of mind. So it's really working on my state of mind. Obviously, it's easier when you clean your trauma, because you don't go so easily into this stage. When it comes to you just acknowledge, I'm talking to myself. This is not really helping where I'm going. So I don't need to tell myself this story. I just put in the garbage and I tell myself another story. And this is how I manage to kind of move forward. Then also, this is more on the state of mind, but then also in reality, in the functionality, I am a human being. I am evolving, and I will be evolving until I die. And so my business is about who I am. If I'm evolving, my business will be evolving too. So how can I support my business into its own evolution? So the way I manage is I hired people. I hired executive PA, not a virtual assistant. She's my executive PA. I take straight to the highest access. I hired a strategist, a very famous one, and I take the best and I don't wait, because obviously there's an amount of money coming in. It was actually $250,000 to $250,000 in 5 months. Which I didn't really realize, and it's when I pay my taxes now that I realize.
I can imagine. Yes.
So, it's funny. It's funny, but then to also support this and build the future. And if I want, like I said at the beginning, my mission is to reach over 1 million people and serve them. It's not just about talking to them; it's about serving them. And the service for me is high quality, because I used to serve on yachts, 5-star, my clients. So I really want to serve, and my soul wants to serve also. And my soul is completely devotion of serving others. Then I need that team, and I need those systems, and I need all this to be supporting me. And at the moment, we are building something huge that's going to come out soon. And I'm all excited because it comes from my essence. It comes from my source, my soul. And there is no mental in there, because every time I go into my mind, I stop what I'm doing. I anchor. I know that's the third part, is to anchor yourself in who you are, in your essence, because the source and the power is within you already. So if you start searching outside, you're already out of your own power. So I always come back to who I am. And I've got a lot of coaches for that helping me.
Beautiful. So it's almost like there's this masculine, feminine, or the structure and the flow, which is in a beautiful dance. And the more you're growing, the more you create the structure, so you can also grow your flow. And that's beautiful, because in the coaching industry, we talk a lot about the rise of the feminine and the rise of the consciousness and a more sustainable leadership form. And what you are also approaching here is that, well, if you want that more, if you want to have more space for that, liberation of your soul and expansion and actually creation, because devotion is also service creation in the physical world. How can you create the structure for that? Not meaning that you have to do it, like you mentioned. You can have the systems,
Yeah,
the coaches, the assistants, the team and the support to create more space for, well, there is the masculine that is supporting the feminine, and as you're rising in your feminine, you know, that
you need the
voice.
masculine to be able to carry that.
Exactly. And maybe you
Yeah.
can talk a bit just shortly about that, and just because I think it's a really interesting point of view that I don't hear so much in the conversation. Can you talk about how you see, maybe for your own clients that are also growing really fast, how do you approach that balance between when do we flow and then when do we create structure?
Yeah, it's interesting because when I'm with my clients, they are so into their feminine energy.
Yeah.
So when I bring masculine energy into the business, there is sometimes a lot of resistance because they're like, oh my God, you know, like, oh, and sometimes it wakes up trauma for them as well. Huh? So
Yeah.
deeper the healing, obviously, I've got a team of therapists they can use, or they can find them. I'm not a therapist. I can unlock people, but when it comes to therapy, I mean, I'm not playing there. And then this will support them into welcoming this masculine energy that is necessary in the business. You need a balance of feminine and masculine energy. So when you are in your feminine energy, like we said, it's supported by this masculine energy. It's like in a relationship, you know. You want to be in your feminine energy, and the guy needs to be in his masculine energy, so it can balance out and be like sacred.
Yeah.
And this is how you create a sacred business, is to acknowledge from the beginning that you are going to be in your feminine energy, but you are going to welcome masculinity energy into your business.
Yeah.
And this is, if you can't do that, then you know you are not going to really impact as quickly and as big as you would like to impact, because you'll be unbalanced and you'll be not supported.
Yeah.
And you're going to burn out, and we don't want to burn out. We want to do it with ease and flow, because this is, as women, what we love, you know, being. So imagine before I was only about systems, and then I went from systems to completely feminine energy, because I was discovering a new word. I was like, oh, this is me, I'm a woman, and it was fun. To now balancing, and I'm completely doing a reconciliation of masculine and feminine energy within me as a human being. This is the hardest work I've done. Not hardest, this is the deepest work I've done so far with my coaches. And because it's inside me, it goes in my business. So I've got this balance in my business. And the sweetest part, because I've been quite single for a little while, it's coming in my own reality outside. And I met someone who is super masculine, and we'll see where it takes us. But it shows that it goes everywhere. And it shows that everything starts within us.
Yes.
So if you want something outside that you don't have, start with yourself. Start to look inside yourself.
Yeah, beautiful. And for the ones listening and watching, I just want to add a question for yourself, because we might have those flips when we go right into the masculine. I know from this 12 years of being in the training industry is that I've gone full on strategy and I've gone full on feminine, and then you're coming back to, wait a second, how do we balance both? So if you are listening, watching, a question for you right now, it's already, think about that. How does it look in your own business? Do you feel that you have a big amount of masculine, but it's not balanced? Like, it's almost a yin yang, you know, you have this beautiful picture. Are they really in a balance? And if you need more of the feminine, because some of us are more feminine naturally, organically, how can you create that external support so that you can be fully you, so you don't feel like you don't have the space to really explore yourself? Nikky, this has been amazing. I would like just to a final question is, how do you do this work with your clients? What type of support do you provide when it comes to, because you've gone on a big journey and there's so much guidance that you can give. So how do you usually work, and what type of clients do you work with when it comes to your work?
Oh, I'm so, I don't know, fortunate, grateful, honored, and I'm into full gratitude. The people that come into my world, they really are the ones that are choosing me
Yeah.
because of the way I'm being. So the first time they get access to me is watching me on my Facebook, because I'm doing Facebook Live every day. So
Yeah.
they can feel the vibe. And every day I provide golden nuggets
Yes.
to teach them. And then if they want to go deeper with me, I've got a program, group program. It's called Emergence. And it's my signature program. And this is where they are going to balance the masculine and the feminine energy within their own business, within themselves. So there is a lot of growth, personal growth, and also for their business. And this is a 3-month program. And also then they can have access to me on one-on-one. And we go deeper on this, and they have access to my team as well. When they're in one-on-one with me, they have access to my whole team, so they can be a CEO quickly and experience without having to hire everybody. We provide all the services of support on top of being with me one-on-one. Obviously, during my session with my clients, I channel, and this is super intense. I receive messages from them, what they need to hear. I heard, I'm not too familiar with this, but there are some kind of codes into my voice. So when I speak to people, we share now, some people receive some kind of codes that are helping them to expand. So this is great, because I love talking.
Yeah.
My clients, in my one-on-one, they are super powerful soul. They already have done a lot of healing in their journey. When they come to me, for example, I've got Olympic medalist at the moment, a male. He's very connected to the source, so it's super powerful also. And we are going to balance, we are building his business to balance masculine energy and feminine energy on social media, because he needs to learn social media. So what we do. But I also have different kind of women that are channeling also a lot of new things that are coming in the future. They are really preparing the future, and they come to me because they feel seen, because my soul see their soul. So now, because we understand each other on a soul level, we bring this into the mind level, and then we implement into the matrix. And this is this is where we balance feminine and masculine energy. And then in my programs, I have anybody that feel like a call to be into my own energy, my vibe, and my knowledge of being balanced feminine and masculine energy. So when they come, just by making the payment, people are telling me how they feel empowered, and a lot change. And this is something very enjoyable for me, just as a beginning to witness this. My mind can still not understand how it works, but it's working, so I'm not questioning. And I feel very supported by my community. I'm coaching 32 clients at the moment, so it's quite a lot, in groups, individual and small groups. And it's those people are the future. They are going to positively impact the world. They are already doing it at their level. The more I grow, the more they want to grow, because Nikki's done it. So we're following Nikki. She's walking first. You go first, Nikki. We're right here behind you. And I love that, because I've got this leadership, obviously, in me, and I open the gate for people to achieve what the soul is supposed to achieve on this earth. This is only the end of the story is I'm helping them to achieve what the soul is supposed to achieve in this world, and it's going to be very positive for all of us.
Yeah, beautiful, Nikki. Thank you so much for sharing your journey today. We will make sure to share all the links below to discover your daily live on Facebook, as well as your websites and social media links, so they can go deeper. And of course, for the ones watching and listening, don't hesitate to write in the comments also what you're taking away. If you feel called, inspired, connect with Nikki, connect with us, and share what's really landing for you today. Every time we are listening, something new is landing. So integrate this as a pearl, a wisdom pearl and guidance already in the moment. So Nikki, thank you. Any final word you would like to say for the ones who are listening to integrate this conversation even deeper?
Yes, I would like to say, if you feel like you have something really within you that is bigger than what you can see, or it is there, it's all, and you have it all, it's all in there, it's all inside you. So, or you go face it yourself and you find a way to find yourself, or you get some help, mentorship, obviously, of people that can guide you to connect to your source. But the power is what you see in me, and what you like in me, it's already in you, because otherwise you won't see it. So let's go, achieve what you are here for, and let's co-create this new world and bring peace on earth, definitely.
Yeah, thank you, Nikki. Thank you, everyone who watched and listened today. And I cannot wait for me and for Nikki to see how you will integrate this moment that we shared today, and how you will appropriate it into your own soul, your own essence. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, everyone, and have a beautiful day. Bye.